Hello, hello, it's Carrie, So Much Glitter. Welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad to have you here. If you have not done so already, please subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification bell, and you'll be notified when I come out with new content. Today, I am going to be doing my second collaboration video for Junk Journal January, which is wrapping up tomorrow on the 31st. And I apologize for my voice and the noises. I have a throat lozenge and I've been sick with bronchitis for over a week now, so my voice is a little bit strained, and I haven't been able to record much content, but I wanted to record this because my day is January 30th, which is beginning. So if you are following along in Junk Journal January UK, you probably have a whole junk journal full of goodies and lots of inspiration along the way. I wanted to incorporate my first project with Junk Journal January, which was frosted. And I made two of these pockets that you could put in your junk journal. And I did tell you in that video, which is right here on my channel, and all the links are going to be links below. I did tell you that I wanted to use this in a project later on in January, and that's exactly what I'm doing today. So I am utilizing the beginning in a more unique way, I think. I am going to be creating a 5x7 ephemera holder. So this is the beginning of a lot of our projects. We need somewhere to put all of our Junk Journal January bits and ephemera and all the goodies that we got along the way. And I did want to have somewhere to be able to put all that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an ephemera holder, but it's just going to be a 5x7, so it's just a 5x7 card base, and we're going to get to decorating that, and all of the bits that you have left over from Junk Journal January, you can go ahead and put in something like this. Now I am noticing my ribbon is a little bit off. I did make two of these. I am only using one of these today because I wanted to use a little bit more from the kit that was created, and like I said, all of the links are below, and there's tons of fabulous creators in this this collaboration, and this kit is a huge winter kit, and so I wanted to use this because this will go perfectly in your Junk Journal January junk journal. And I need somewhere to keep my ephemera from this fun collaboration. So I'm just going to start by cutting down a 5x7, if I can try to get my desk a little bit neat. I'm going to create a 5x7 card front, if you will. So that's just kind of how I'm going to start this off. Now, I did not print out everything from this fabulous kit. This kit is very, very big. I printed out what I wanted to use for my project that I'm using today. So I'm just going to go ahead and trim this down, and these are the journal pages, so you can use these in multiple ways. You do not have to just fold them and make a journal page, although they are very beautiful to do that with, but you can also create something a little bit different with them. So what I'm going to do is just trim this down a little bit more, just so it looks a little bit more even on the card base. And I know I'm going to be trimming it down a little bit more, but I'm throwing my bits and pieces everywhere. Okay, so I'm just going to put this as my card base, right? So this just needs to be trimmed down to a 5x7. And I guess I should have measured that the first time, which I did not. I'm just on day 2 without a fever, so bear with me a little bit. Okay, and let's see. I'm gonna put it right at the 7 mark, which this 7 mark on this new trimmer, some of these measurements are just a little bit deceptive for me. My last trimmer was very accurate on where the number was and where the line was, so I think this is going to be a little bit too big, but I'm okay with that. I can trim it down. Oh nope, I think I got it. I think I'm learning the trimmer. What I wanted to do is create like a fun pocket out of this. because this is going to be an ephemera holder. And so we want to hold as much ephemera in this little 5x7 ephemera holder that we can. So I want to cut this down evenly because I noticed it wasn't cut down evenly. I am going to make this a pocket. So what I'm going to do, and I'm going to decide how I want to make this a pocket. I'm trying to reduce the glare from my glass mat. So I have my my Ranger mat over it, so it's not as much of a glare. So it's going to be moving around, I think, just a little bit, which I'm trying to prevent. Because I want to get these fun little woodland mice, right? I want to get them in this, but I want to make this like a pocket at the same time. So what I'm going to do, and I want to get as much of this beautiful winter tree as I can, because as you can see, there's like a little bit of wording, so it kind of draws a little bit of interest to this. I'm going to fold this because what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tear it. So I'm just going to kind of tear it along the lines. Oops, a little bit too much, right? And I did do just a little bit too much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue that part just so when we're sliding in and out our ephemera, we're not tearing it even more. Now I have not been using my glue in about a week, and I did forget to put the lid on. So that might be problematic for me. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to get out the glue that I just purchased, and it was recommended to me by a lot of people in the crafty community for junk journaling and collaging. So I'm just gonna glue that down because I was using this. This does not stay with anything for some reason. This was really highly recommended, but a lot of people had said that the price point had jumped up a lot, and it did. When I was at like some of the crafty stores, it was not cheap. So I purchased 2 of these on Amazon for under $5. So that was kind of a good little find. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to trim this down. And I'm going to try to find all my crafty supplies. This is the first time I've been in my craft room since I got sick. And I've been dying to get in here, but I just have not had the energy. So now that I'm just feeling a little bit better because of the meds and all of that, I feel like today was the perfect day to film my collab video. Okay, so I'm not going to be using my glue press, it looks like, because it's clogged and I probably need to rinse it. So I am making this a pocket, and I'm just going to butt it up against the paper. And I am going to try not to make a really big mess, but I glued over. One good thing about this mat is it cleans really nicely. It's really good to paint on, mixed media, whatever. You can do it on this mat, so it's nice. The glass mat's the same way, right? But I just wanted to reduce the glare. Okay, so this is going to be the card front, and then we're going to be able to start putting some ephemera in there. So this is the beginning of our ephemera holder, and that did not stick either, did it? Okay, so I might need to unclog this and come back. I don't know, my luck with glue sticks maybe is not very good. Or it's still wet, which could be. Okay, so I was able to unclog that, and I just took up the glue sticks. So that glue stick might just strictly be for like collaging, which was fine. I have really good luck with the wet glue, and I'm used to it, and you know, when you know something works for you, that's what you kind of stick with. So what we're going to do is we're just going to glue this whole back down, and this is again just a 5x7 card base, and this is This could be the beginning or the end of a project, but since I have beginning on January 30th for Junk Journal January, this is the beginning of a project. This is the beginning of many projects, this ephemera holder, right? We want to go back and grab all of our goodies from the Junk Journal January collaboration. We want to get lots of ideas from the playlist on YouTube. But where do we put all of our bits and pieces? Well, we put them right in here. And so this is going to be a pocket. And I'm not going to label it or anything. I'm just going to leave it like this. And I have a bookshelf I'm just going to go ahead and stick it on. Like I did say, I did make 2 of these in my initial video, but I am only using 1 in here because I wanted to feature more of the kit. So this is just a bag that I had purchased on Amazon. And before I glue that down, I do want to add a little bit of interest to the background. So I'm going to go ahead and ink up. And I have a morning mist in my VersaFine Clair, and I'm just going to kind of lightly ink it and not concentrate too much about it because I want it to have that whole mixed media feel. And I am just going to probably do this several times. Every which way, right? And I'm gonna do that over here too. I was gonna say I would use another stamp because this stamp set came with 2, but I think we can go ahead and make this 1. And so this is just gonna add some interest in the background and make it so we're not just pigeonholed into any one certain kind of ephemera, right? There's plenty of interest in this. This will hold lots of different kind of ephemera. And I had frosted before, so if you can see, I went ahead and did the little snowflakes and I added the ribbon. And now I'm going to need another pocket over here, and I have lots of fun things printed from this. I could go ahead and incorporate maybe more of the woodland mice. There's just naturally pockets in here, which is nice, which I really do like, and I really do like this. So I'm not just going to limit this ephemera holder to these 3 pockets. We're going to put a pocket on the back here. Like this thing is going to be loaded with ephemera. So I'm going to start by fussy cutting this out. And I hope you've all been enjoying the collaboration. I hope January's been self-care for you. I mean, I set out for January to be calm and healthy and self-care, and you know, there were other plans. So I was forced into a little bit of self-care. I had to take a few days off of work and relax, and that's really hard because I'm used to going all of the time. And so this is just kind of my reminder. I tend to get sick this time every year. I do have asthma, so there is that. So when the winter weather hits, it tends to hit me a little bit harder. And excuse me for bumping the camera. I'm going to get out my tea dyed ink, and I'm just going to ink around the edge right here. I'm going to try to be a little bit clever if I'm still in frame. I hope so. And I'm going to fold these in. I'm going to try to put this in the corner, and then I'm going to try to put another ephemera holder on this page too. Now, you notice I'm just off to the side a little bit. I do like to take my bone folder and just crease the paper when these envelopes have these extra flaps. So it's easier to just manipulate the paper and fold it in. These extra flaps are really handy because it means that we don't need to prep the paper. So it's just raised enough, and it fits right in the corner. It's just raised enough to where we don't need to slide anything in here to make sure that things will slide in and out easily. So the designer's already done that for us. I'm really grateful to the collaboration, all the creators, the designers, everybody that has made this month so meaningful. And it's just been slow self-care time. I know a lot of you are in harsher winter climates than I am, because I'm in Southern California, so it's basically like spring or summer all year normally. We have gotten a little bit of frost here and there, and mixed in with rain, of course, but we all live in different areas of the world, and some of the winters have been pretty harsh here in the States and abroad. So I hope you're all staying warm and healthy, and I hope you're on the good side of the internet, right? The internet's been kind of a bummer lately, and so if you're here at the collaboration, you're probably on the happy side. Okay, so now we have 2 pockets already. I want to just create a little space for pockets right here. I'm thinking this would be a good one, but now it's going to be upside down, so that might be a little bit odd. I think let's cut more of these little woodland mice out. Let me try to cut around. So here you can see that Bee Happy Stationery and Crafting Dragon Designs are the designers for this collaboration. I'm going to go ahead and leave that right there. Their links are listed below, but if you're forgot to click on the links, or you're watching this and you just want to open another tab or something like that, then here you go. Honestly, I'm just going to trim it down like this. And put it right down in here. I am going to ink this up. So this is just going to be another little ephemera holder. And this is for, not all ephemera is big and bulky. Some of our bits are pretty small and dainty, and we need somewhere to put them. So that's what we're doing. And I'm just going to ink up around it. So because we do not have the fold, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this, because some of our ephemera is going to be about like this. This is about 42 pound cardstock. I'm just going to leave this right in here. And don't worry if things are going to be sticking in and out, like out of the card, right? It's just wherever you're going to be storing it. You want to make sure that that's not going to be an issue. But my bookshelf is pretty tall, so I'm not worried about that. It'll slide in and out. I'll bulk this up in no time. And I'm just going to leave this right here because it's going to allow me to manipulate the paper just a little bit so the bits can flow in and out nicely. And I'm going to hold this down. See, I have much better luck with this wet glue. I might not have put enough over there. I don't know what's... I'm going to have to learn these glue sticks, I think, a little bit. And they might work better on collaging, like magazine type, thinner type material. This is pretty thick, crafty printer paper. Okay, so we have that. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now we're gonna have some fun and we're gonna do 5. I kind of wanted to do this on the back because I thought that that would be fun. But I wanted to incorporate this as well. So I am going to trim this down to a 5 by 7. And if you can see, I still have some glitter on here. Let's see, yeah, I think trimming it down 5 right here, I think will suffice. And then we want 7, which I want to get more of those cranberries. To me, they're cranberries. I want to get more of those in there, but I guess it doesn't matter, does it? Either way. Okay. So we have, you see, it's just a little bit shorter, but that's okay. I'm not going to stress out about that at all. Okay, we're gonna move this out of the way. Put this to the side. And just so there's a little bit, I might need to trim it down just another hair, just so we have a little bit of a border on all sides. I don't want a border just on one or two sides. Okay. So there we go. It doesn't need to be a perfectly even border, right? I'm just going to make this the background. I'm gluing the whole thing down. If you want to make this a pocket, because this is an ephemera holder, because remember, this is the beginning of another project, you feel free to do that. There's lots of freedom in creating something fun like this. We don't need to always go out and buy the fancy holders that the retailers tell us that we need to, or some of the influencers out there tell us that, you know, it's the newest, biggest and brightest thing and it's going to make our crafting life so much easier. It's January. I feel like it's January. Instead of January 30th, it's January 130th. Let's be honest, this month is really long. So that's just sometimes not sustainable after the holidays and we have life and, you know, we have to do what's best for us on our own budget. So creating something fun like this allows you to get more creativity time in, and I'm a big proponent of self-care. Using creativity for self-care, because that is what I do, and I'm a mental health professional, and it's really important that everybody has some sort of outlet that doesn't harm us or others for self-care. So there's my tidbit, and this, for most of us that are here, that's what this is. So we want to maximize our self-care, we want to maximize our crafty budget and our supplies that we purchase, right? So we're always purchasing printables. Like this kit is very huge. I didn't even begin to use the whole kit, but if I start creating things like this, I could use up this kit in no time. So you get plenty of ideas with all of the creators here. Okay, so I am going to get my bone folder out again. I do need to trim that. I think I actually have a punch that I might be able to punch that out in. So we'll go ahead and do that. My goal was to try to make this a pretty quick project, since it is kind of the end of the collaboration. And a lot of these videos have been taking January pretty slow, time for self-care, just do a quick little project. So you could just do this in probably under 30 minutes. Okay, and then I'm gonna glue that down, and then I'm gonna get my punch. You would think I would be semi-prepared. I didn't realize maybe I would want the punch either. Oops. Okay. I need to do this backwards to see it. There we go. That did not get it perfectly. I'm not going to worry about that. I am just going to ink it up though. I'm just going to ink up the whole thing around. So then there is some sort of rhyme or reason for the inking, right? I could cut that off because now that little bit of white space is kind of in the way for me. But that's just a me thing. I don't like a whole lot of the white space. Okay. So there we go. Let's get to gluing this down. And see, the more you get in your creative space, you're like, oh wait, I think I have something for that. Like I would have never thought to bring out my punch, right? I just don't use them all the time. I prefer to fussy cut around things. And that's what I do. If it's imperfect, I will cut around it. I'll ink it up. I'll do whatever. Okay, so this is just going to go on the back. Now this is just, the background is the background. So it's strictly in the background. We're covering a lot of this up. We notice that this is going to be white. I could have reverse printed this if I wanted to, and then this would be printed on as well. I did not do that, and I'm not going to glue anything else down here. I'm just going to go ahead and have it be like that. So I am going to glue along the edges that was provided. Oops, a lot of it didn't glue down, did it? That's okay. That's just me. See what happens when I take a week off of crafting. I have to get reacquainted with things a little bit. Okay. But in my defense, this paper is pretty thick. So, and it's folded on itself. So I need to kind of be a little bit more patient and glue it down. Hold the glue down a little bit. Crease it down with my bone folder to make it a little bit more flush on itself. There we go. And so this is going to be a pocket where we can slide in and out ephemera. If you want to zhuzh it up a little bit more, you want to get some lace, you want to add more of the frosted elements, you want to add a little bit more of the prompts to this beginning project, then you can. There's a little bit of construction going on outside, and I do have the window open, so I don't know if you can hear it and it bothers you. I always think, because I can hear it really loud, that the camera picks it up, and normally it doesn't. So that is our project. The only thing I'm going to do is I'm going to ink up around the whole thing, because I did ink up around a few little bits and pieces. I just kind of want to even it out just a little bit more where it isn't inked up around. And then we're done. This is the beginning, guys. So this is going to be the beginning of probably a whole new month, a whole new crafting. And I know Valentine's Day is coming up upon us, and a lot of us like to do a lot of Valentine's Day projects. I was looking on Bee Happy Stationery Ko-fi shop, and she has a lot of really good Valentine's Day projects, I did notice. And so I need to finish perusing for the Valentine's Day goodies, and I need to check out Crafting Dragons on Etsy, because I haven't been on Etsy for a little bit. Okay, so this is our project. This is January 30th. We're finishing up Junk Journal January UK. We have made the beginning of a project, which this is our ephemera holder. This could always be the beginning of any project. And we have pockets everywhere. And remember, I tied in my day number 4, which was frosted. And then we have this beautiful little envelope pocket on the back, which will hold lots and lots of ephemera bits and pieces from your Junk Journal January UK collaboration. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys soon. Take self-care time for you. Bye.